You've tried.
I have tried.
Yeah.
In fact, I haven't tried. The only thing I did do was Google it. And making a souffle, I don't know if anybody has. Has anybody made a souffle here? Really? Really? Oh, wow. Well, making a souffle is very hard. So I did a bit of the whisking action, and that was about it.
All right, now, we want to keep this down. We only have a half hour, so we only want one question. No selfies, please. That's for later. And be courteous. And because I don't want to come out here and use this. I'm a bad man with this. So we will take you down. We will take you right to Chinatown. All right, well, first question. Let's go.
Great.
Nice costume.
Thank you. So obviously we all love cosplaying so much, and especially Doctor Who cosplayers are everywhere in this room. If you could cosplay one character from anything, who would you cosplay?
From anything?
From anything.
Ooh. I used to get told to look like Wednesday Addams when I was younger. That's everywhere I used to go to the hairdressers, I always was told to look like Wednesday Addams. I mean, being Strax would be quite funny. You know, then you have to think practically, because he is always on set like 5 hours earlier than anybody else. Yeah, maybe let's stick with Strax.
Thank you.
I'm short for the microphone.
So my sister she's there. She says hi.
Hi, is she like on Skype?
She's so here, go ahead, Shannon, say hi.
FaceTime.
So she had a question for you. Go ahead, Shannon.
So, do you relate to your character in any way, and like how?
This is so weird. In lots of ways, she is, I suppose, just being a young person in a big world and learning the ropes, and you know, also very core morals of strength, being brave and compassionate, and also kind of being very independent and smart, while at the same time kind of retaining a strong core and moral compass. And I think that's kind of what Clara has when she has her adventures with the Doctor, and when it, you know, when everything comes down to what is important. I think that's what she holds.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
That's a sharp-looking t-shirt.
My question is, how did you feel about taking pics? Spoiler alert, sorry.
Stephen told me about this, like, way at the beginning of the series. So I knew it was going to be happening. Has anybody read a book called One Day? Yeah. Okay, like 3 people. Well, it's kind of like, it reminded, in fact, if I tell you it's going to spoil the book, but it reminds me of that, of kind of, you know, you're happy, you're living your life, and then suddenly something can happen that can change everything forever. And I think, did anybody expect it?
No.
That's what I think is so brilliant, is that it's kind of not the direction of the series we were going in. So it's this thing, and it's right at the beginning of the episode, and it completely changes everything. So I think in terms of a dramatic storytelling, it's brilliant. And also, what's interesting is we're filming now, so where it's left Clara and how it is going to bring her and the Doctor together is really interesting. Where it will take them next. I think it's a direction that no one was expecting, which is always a good thing.
Thank you.
But poor Sam. Poor Danny Pink.
Hi, Jenna.
Hi.
Alright, so my question is, if the Doctor regenerated as a female, how do you think Clara would react to the character, and how do you think their chemistry would change?
Well, it depends on what kind of female. I mean, you know, if he turned into Missy, then I think, you know, I'm sure there'd be some friction. But, you know, it depends, you know, it's so difficult, and it's this question of, should the Doctor be a man or a woman? And it's like, it's not as simple as that. It's, well, you know, what kind of person, what are their traits, what are their, you know, are they going to be quite mellow or, you know, like Missy? And then I think that's where you figure all of that stuff out, but, you know, without, you know, knowing who we're talking about, it's quite difficult to answer that question. So yeah, I think it's more about their traits rather than their gender. Woo! Hello.
Hello.
How good is it that you get to play your 90?
That's awesome. Okay, so I told my friend, I promised him I'd tell you, he said hi in my field both times I've got a chance to talk to you. So my friend Andy says hi.
Is he on Skype?
No, he's
No,
not.
it's okay.
That wasn't that clever. And I wanted to know what got you into acting. Like, when did you know that that's what you wanted to do?
I used to dance a lot when I was younger, and I used to be in a lot of shows when I was very little. And then when I was 10, I went to an open audition in Blackpool, where I'm from. And part of the audition was I had to sing Happy Birthday to myself. So I had to sing Happy Birthday, dear Jenna. Anyway, I ended up getting the part. And so I spent the summer in this professional show called Summer Holiday. And I just absolutely loved it. And I remember there being a point where I just thought I don't want to do anything else with my life. I was just having so much fun. So I remember that being like a defining moment. And then I just went to plays and read lots of books and went to the theatre and watched films and carried on from there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
First, I would like to apologize for the guy who asked you the inappropriate question. Typically, people in Indiana don't act that way.
Okay.
My aunt has a question for you. She wants to know, in the special features of the 50th anniversary special, it listed you as a companion and an enigma. And wanted to know, did you know that you would be more than just a companion?
I knew I had a really strange introduction into the show. My audition process was absolutely bizarre because I just kept being sent lots of different characters and with different names, and I was like, well, who are they? What accent do they have? You know, I had no scripts to read. I only had these scenes that Stephen sent. And I was like, well, what do they want? Like, am I a modern girl? Am I this kind of Nancy from Oliver thing? Am I like Mary Poppins? Like, obviously, I was thinking they just wanted to put me in a room with Matt and then try all these different characters, and I thought then they're going to figure out what they want the new companion to be. So I had no idea. Stephen just said, I'm really sorry, just please come into the room, don't ask any questions, and you know, we'll explain later. So it was I was like, okay. And then once they explained I was going to be all these different characters and the impossible girl loop, I spent the entire series, but I didn't know how that was going to be wrapped up. So I'm telling you a very long-winded way of saying I knew it wasn't a regular introduction, but I didn't have any idea I'd end up filming a scene with being inserted into old like William Hartnell footage or anything like that. I didn't know I'd be going through the Doctor's timeline and having met all of them. So I knew it wasn't a regular room, but not like that. But you never do with Stephen Moffat. You never do. You pick up a script and you think you've got an inkling of what's going to happen, and you're always wrong.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, so my question is, what was it like seeing yourself as an action figure?
Really weird. I don't think. But you know what's quite funny is I have a 4-year-old niece who her favourite game is so she'll hold the figure in her hand and like make the figure do like funny positions, and then I have to do them as well, as if like she's controlling me. So that's kind of a fun game to play at Christmas.
Hello.
Hello.
So I was wondering what your favorite costume was that you got to wear.
You know, my favourite one to see is still Oswin, because it's such, I think, with the utility belt, and we always described it as like this kind of space futuristic Virgin Atlantic kind of chick. And again, I always say wearing an egg whisk isn't something you can do every day. So that was a really fun costume, and also I love all the period stuff, so the ones from the snowman and. Yeah, those ones. I suppose the ones that are more removed from myself, I find the funnest to wear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The red trainers must have been nice and comfy too.
Yeah, they were. It's always the key of trying to like give me a couple of inches so I can fit in the same shot as Matt and Peter. That's often like a practical thing we need to figure out, but something you can run in, because every episode of Doctor Who you need to be able to run and dive and duck and do stunts and be put on wires and harnesses and stuff like that.
Running and running and running.
Lots of running. It feels weird when you do a scene sat down. It doesn't feel right. It's really strange because you're so used to always moving forward. Hello.
Hi, if you could change or redo anything that was scripted or that you did, what would it be?
Oh, that's a dangerous question. We won't tell anybody. I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't. It's I think I've been really lucky with the stories that I've had, and I'm just so terrified Stephen Moffat would watch this that I just wouldn't be even going.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
I watched Last Christmas with a theater filled with people, fans of the show, and we were all in tears at the end of that thing. It was such an honor to see that and just connect with everybody like that. It's incredible.
Hi.
Hello.
If you could be a companion for any of the other doctors, who would you be a companion for?
I know it sounds maybe an obvious choice, but maybe Tom Baker or David Tennant, I think. Mainly because I've seen them both on set, and I wasn't in the scene with Tom Baker, but I came in with Stephen to watch, and that was fun because him and Matt were improvising some of it as well. So that kind of watching that spark between the two of them, like older generation and new generation, was really, really fun. And David is just such a lovely, energetic man. I think he's one of those, he'd be a really great leading man to work with, I think.
Thank you.
Well, they won the NTA Awesome Award. If there is a picture on Wikipedia, if you look up Gobsmacked, and they had that little picture of him on there. Yeah, he is now the illustration for Wikipedia. Gobsmacked. There you go.
Hi.
Hello.
My question is, have you ever watched Doctor Who before you auditioned for the role?
Well, I've always been aware of it, but when it came back in the UK, I was 18, so it was never on when I was a child. We call ourselves in the UK the denied children, when we missed that kind of era of Doctor Who. I was always very aware of it. It's not something that I watched. So I watched the 11th hour before my audition. I was aware of Matt and Karen and Billy and David, because it's very much in the culture over in the UK.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's an awesome camera.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good,
That's
thanks.
not my question.
Okay.
My question is, you and Catherine Tate are by far my two favorite companions of the reboot.
Thank you.
And David Tennant was my first doctor, so obviously my heart's with him. But how was it during the 50th, on and off camera, between you, Matt Smith, and John Hurt? And also, if you ever were David Tennant's companion, how do you think Clara would be with him?
Really good questions. On and off camera, I just remember my first day filming in the 50th, and there was a scene where it was John, Matt, and David all had to be like talking and then like turn to me, and every time they did it, I corpsed. I just burst into laughter because having the three of them, I mean, having one doctor, is quite tiring. So having three, it was it was more riveting to watch, actually, to watch the three of them work together. And it's kind of like one mind in three people all kind of talking over one another and working together. So it was, do you know what, I was like reduced to like a giggling girl. That's how it was. And I thought, me and Stephen made jokes like, I'll keep everybody straight, and with all the kind of, because there's a bit of politeness at first of like, oh David, do you want to drive the TARDIS in this scene, or should I drive the TARDIS in this scene? It all kind of started off like that. But what happened was it was just a group of doctors. It was amazing. It was really It was a really interesting way to interact with three of them. And John Hurt is such a dude as well. Like, he's got so many cool stories. He's an amazing man. And what was the other question?
How do you think Clara would be with David Tennant as your doctor?
I don't know. What's interesting is, I don't know if you remember, at the end of the 50th, he came and kissed her, and she was a bit giggly, and so it's interesting, because with Matt's doctor and with Peter's doctor, like, she's quite strong and straight, and has to be like, no, listen, hey, you know, she can be a bit more bossy, maybe is the word, and a bit more control freaky, because they're kind of, they're wired differently. So I actually don't know with David's. I think the energy would be really, really different, but I don't quite know, I don't know how it would work actually, because I don't think she'd need to be kind of in control as much, if that makes sense.
That does. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Anybody on Skype? No?
Hi, Jenna.
Hi.
My question is, and it's an if or a when, but hopefully when Clara's character becomes with Big Finish audio dramas,
Yes.
or even with Oswin, would you like to see her, what doctor would you like to see her with? Because they've kind of been playing with companions, meshing with other doctors.
Oh, really?
But in Big Finish audio, where do you think she would fall?
Where do I think she would?
Where do you think she would end up, like which doctor would you like to see her end up with for the
Oswin.
Big Finish audio?
Oswin. I think you need somebody very, maybe David Tennant's doctor, because somebody quite energetic and quite, I think Oswin would kind of be quite hard work. She'd kind of always try to be those 2 steps ahead, and you know, she wants to see the next thing and the next thing. Like, she's quite a dreamer and quite quick, I think. So maybe I think David Tennant's doctor would be good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Jenna. How are you? Hi. Can you say hi to my husband? He's way in the back. He's been trying to see you.
Where is he?
Chris, raise your hand.
Hello,
Hi, Chris. Anyway, everybody's already asked all the questions I have, and I just want to say you're amazing, and I hope you're enjoying America.
Oh, thank you. That's lovely. I am. Thank you.
Okay, so you know in Dark Water where Clara is in her kitchen with her grand and they're talking about Dan's death?
Yeah.
I thought your performance in that scene, in the entire episode really, was so powerful. Like the look in Clara's eyes alone at that particular scene, they look so empty and lightless, and your pupils became these massive like Maltese. What do you do to get yourself in the mindset to film a scene like that and to do it so well and so convincing?
Thank you. That's really kind. Thank you very much. I remember Stephen had stage direction in that scene, which was the words were something like it was just totally numbed. It was numbed and just numbed beyond grief, or it was something like that. So to be honest, a lot with Stephen's writing, everything's there that you need. You don't need anything else. And then I also sometimes listen to music as well. That's quite good, because sometimes when you're on a set and there's like 50 other people in the room and people are moving like equipment and lights and stuff like that, it can be quite difficult. So sometimes putting your earphones in just keeps you in your own world, which is useful sometimes. Or you can sometimes get Doctor Who music in your head while you're filming a scene, which is quite inappropriate. Running down a corridor and you can hear it going dun dun dun. Thanks. Hi. How do I look to you? Am I like red or blue?
A little bit of both.
Oh, cool.
I just have one question. If you could be any villain, Dr. Who, or anything else in the world, who would you be?
I like the villains who move slowly. I find that really freaks me out. So maybe like the Silence or somebody like that. Like people, I think having the confidence to move slowly because you know you're going to get your victim is really terrifying to me. So maybe them, and I've always said I like the Whisper Man. I want them to come back. There's something so cool and collected about them that I found very eerie.
Hi, thank you for coming. My question is, in my mind, you are two companions. You have Austin and you have Clara. Do you think, and please all the big this happening if you're watching, we will see the evolution of Clara into Austin?
Interesting. The problem is Clara's going to need to live a very long time to become Oswin, because Oswin was futuristic. Although I suppose they have a TARDIS, so that can happen. I don't know, but I do hope we see Osmond again.
Thank you. And will you be my future ex-wife?
Hi.
Before you got the role, what made you want to be on Doctor Who?
Yeah, actually, what actually really made me want to get Doctor Who was when I first went into a room with Matt Smith. And that was what really, really did it for me. I kind of left the room not knowing what had just happened, in a really weird and wonderful way. But he is so spontaneous as an actor, and so you literally do not know what he is going to do take to take, and that really keeps you on your toes, and it's really exciting. So I remember leaving, it was like December, and I remember I was going to the theatre after, and I had my first audition with him, and I just left the room like really buzzed because it was so much fun. So it was working with Matt that was the thing. I was like, oh, this job would be great if I get to work with him every day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. What was your first reaction when you realized you got the part?
I thought I'd blown my last audition. My second one was great with Matt, and then the third one, I was so excited to get in the room, and I was like, oh, I just don't know if I really delivered. I just don't know. So I thought I'd actually blown it. So it was kind of a mixture of elation and excitement, confusion, and it was just an amazing feeling. I was ecstatic, and I phoned with my mum, and I went for a walk, and I ran out of the house and I just had work boots on with no socks because I'd nipped to the supermarket. And I was just walking, and I just walked for like 20 minutes and got really paranoid no one could hear me because they're so secretive as well. So I remember it all very, very clearly, and it was one of those feelings where your chest feels like it's going to burst because you're so happy.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I was wondering, as an actress, how do you prepare yourself for the role of Clara? Is there any inspirations or
I work differently in different jobs. I think it depends what job it is that you're doing. I did something called Death Comes to Pemberley last year, which was based on Pride and Prejudice and Jane Austen books. So that's quite differently because you can read the book and you can kind of really prep in a different way. But with Doctor Who, I remember I started the job and I had like no scripts. We worked out a sequence as well, which is something I'm not used to. And I remember saying to Stephen, like, what about this, and what about this, and but where does she come from, what has she been doing, and all of these questions. And he was like, all you have to do, all I want you to do is turn up on set and be in the moment. And that's what Doctor Who is, because you're kind of living in that adventure. So yeah, it's quite a different process with Doctor Who. I think prep as much as you can and think about it as much as you can, but you have to go on set and be ready to be really open to what Matt is doing or Peter's doing and kind of go with it and become its own thing. It's quite a different job in that sense.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. And also green screen is interesting, actually. Preparing yourself to react to nothing is quite a different thing. Hi.
So, how much input do you get on like your character or with the doctors? Are there characters predestined? Is that like how they're supposed to be? Was not supposed to know the roadblocks are cool? Or, you know, is it just kind of...
Well, it's really interesting because you start the series and, you know, with Stephen, it's not written as such. I've had maybe a couple of scripts. So it's a show where Stephen watches the rushes every day. And he is always writing at the same time as you're filming. So it's quite a, what's the word? Like, it's quite an organic thing, and it's quite tailored, not tailored, is that the right word? It all happens at once, so you're kind of running alongside each other at the same time. So I think I'm right in saying Bow Ties Are Cool came out with something Matt had said in costume fitting. So it's really, like, the process kind of informs each other, and Stephen develops things all the time. So I suppose the answer is a bit of both, I suppose. But yeah, it's something that's constantly evolving all the time. Good question.
And bow ties are cool, that's it.
Hi.
Hi.
My question is, what's your favorite part about
figure, and what's the difference between them? Oh, there are so many differences and so many similarities. Like, they're very different in their doctors. Like, their doctors, you know, if I had Matt in a scene playing the doctor and Peter in a scene, and it was the same one, like, they do totally different things. The energy is quite different. The thing is, it'd be great to see them together, actually. Like, they're both really spontaneous, and they're both very different take to take. And they're both so generous and so lovely to work with, and really funny. Matt was like an older brother in lots of ways. He used to make fun of me and like to play tricks and things like that. But it's funny, like, Peter's more, there's no age difference between me and Peter either. He's like one of my best buds, so it's quite, I like the dynamic of the unlikely friendship between them two, because if you put it side by side, you would never imagine us to be best friends. But it kind of, the two of us laugh all day long together. It's a really unique friendship, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
I was wondering if you'll ever go the outtakes.
If we'll ever do what, sorry?
The outtakes, like Ubers.
I assume so. I have no idea, but get on to production. Because they have them somewhere, I just don't know if they've ever released them or not. But we often show them at our wrap party at the end of filming, so I know they exist. Yeah. Do we have time?
We were down to 3 minutes.
We have 3 minutes. I'll come find you at the end.
Hello, Stonehenge! I just come with a request. I was wondering if you could record a filler for my YouTube at the end.
If I can do what?
Record a filler, like just a little tagline saying, "You're watching this guy."
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, great.
What was it like working with Theo James?
Theo James. It was great. Well, have you seen that? Yeah. Yeah, he's great. He's a really lovely guy, and he's very clever at what he does. He's a really good actor. Well spotted. Hi.
I was wondering if you could tell me more about your recent experience with one-on-one.
With one-to-one? Yeah, have you seen the video? Yeah, it's a charity. I went over to South Africa to do a film with, to learn about their charity and what they do. So yeah, people should watch it. It's on the internet on their webpage, I think. Thank you. Another good spot.
Hi, Jenna.
Hello.
I was just wondering if you ship the 11th Doctor and Clara.
Okay, shipping. People keep talking about this. What's shipping?
It's when you want to put two people together, like in a relationship together.
Okay, so what's the question?
Do you want Clara and the 11th Doctor in a relationship?
Oh, that's just no. That's just wrong. Do you know what she is? I think he left, I think the moment he was leaving the series, or regenerating, as we should say, was the moment she realised she was in love with him, I think.
Thank you.
And then he turned into Peter Capaldi.
We have time for one more question.
Hi.
Hi.
So my question is, what advice would you give to young girls that want to have an acting career?
My advice would be to read as much as you can, to read as many stories as you can, to watch lots of films, and for it all to come from a place of storytelling. If you like adventures and stories and books and writing, that would be my advice. To watch as much as you can and be interested in other people and their stories as much as you can. And I think the more of that you can do, the better actor you'll become.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And with that, I'm afraid we've run out.
Hey listeners, this is Micus, creator of the kind of epic theme song Zombie Kids. If you're interested in finding out more about my music, you can check me out at micusmusic.com. Also, I am on iTunes, Facebook, and SoundCloud. You can look me up as Micus Music, and that's M-I-K-U-S, and you know the rest. Alright, peace out everyone, keep listening.